Some practical implications are that the teacher needs to facilitate situations where students have to elaborate on their thinking. So this means that the problems need to be rich enough that there's enough there to really discuss what it's about. And that then is encouraging students to make connections among ideas. We want to invite multiple representations. So, oh, did somebody have another way of thinking about this, or showing their thinking about this? So that really what's important there is that the representations interact. It's not that each representation is its own discrete or other way of showing the same idea, but that there might be some interaction amongst the representations. The graph interacts with the algebraic expression, interacts with the story. How do those come together and feed off each other? When we're thinking about working with children in grades 9 and 10, for example, and we're thinking about solving linear systems or linear functions in general, this is a great place to think about how communication can be very rich, because we have a number of representations of linear functions that operate together. So we might be telling stories about our cell phone plans, which cell phone plan might be the best cell phone plan. We might also be looking at a graph of that, if it were a linear way of looking at, how much the plan costs to begin with and how much in addition it is monthly. So if we can build opportunities for the students to present their thinking in different ways and see how those representations are interacting, that can be also, a powerful way to build the communication in the classroom. The teacher must press for sustained, meaningful discussion and have an expectation that the discussion will continue, and try not to save the students. We need to spend more time taking up wrong answers. So if I have multiple choice where there's 3 possible answers, and I really want to communicate and convince others that I've picked what I think is the right answer, it's A, it's not B or C. There's some justification or reasoning that needs to go behind that. So again, that's a structure where we might talk about why A is the best response, but why B and C are not good responses. What is it about those 2 that are flawed? And how might we talk about those to help us build a case and justify or reason through our thinking about why A is the best choice? So even in sort of a simple multiple choice type situation, we can build very rich discussion and communications. There are studies that show that in North America we're very neglectful in taking up wrong answers, but in fact that is when we start to uncover some of the difficulties that students are having, and that it's not a shameful thing, it's actually a very helpful thing in terms of making sense of what we do know and don't know and what we need to do to move forward. It involves listening very carefully to students so that we can then pull out key ideas, rephrase those ideas, revoice them, then have the students, encourage students to do the same. They're working with a student, they help the student to revoice. Can somebody else say that in a different way? I'm wondering if anybody understood what Elizabeth just said. Could somebody please try and re-say that in their own way, but make sure you're embedding those ideas, that kind of attention to the talk.